the literature on knowledge contains lots of different understandings of the term, or lots of different references to the term, which suggests that there are lots of different types of knowledge, and it's a fairly incoherent concept. What I'm interested in doing is trying to find a way in which those different understandings can become coherent, or to demonstrate that there is a coherency within that apparent diversity. Some of the different sorts of knowledge we talk about is objective and subjective knowledge. We talk about tacit and explicit knowledge. We talk about knowledge as being embodied. We talk about propositional knowledge, which is the kind of knowledge we can put into words. We talk about experiential or embodied knowledge, which we perhaps can't. Sometimes we make a distinction between know-how and know that. Know-how being some kind of skill or craft-based facility that we might have, a kind of knowing that somehow lives within our actions, within our behaviours, within our muscles possibly, and knowing that being some sort of factual knowledge, ideas and items of knowledge that we can trot out, dates from history, names of kings of England, and so on, chemical formula for ammonia. Know that knowledge. And there's probably lots of others that I haven't covered there. And there's probably different understandings of knowledge which lie out with conventional knowledge discourses. So we talk about carnal knowledge, don't we? At least that's an understanding of sort of sensual knowledge, and occult knowledge, secret knowledge, knowledge of sort of spiritual or non-physical entities or ideas. Sometimes refer to that as a kind of knowledge. And sometimes we talk about knowledge in a much more elementary way, in the way that it's almost synonymous with simple perceiving or simply being in the presence of, having knowledge of, being just witnessing, kind of. So this whole range of knowledge types and applications, very diverse field. So what I want to try to argue is that within this apparent diversity there is a logical structure and a logical organization. And the organization that I want to put on that is drawn from conceptual metaphor theory and embodied cognition. And I'm basically going to extend the metaphor to do with knowing and sensing, so that knowing is sensing, and the various different senses that we have imply different forms of knowing, and the different entailments associated with the different senses imply different parameters in which that knowledge can be processed, or that knowing can take place. And there's a very simple example of that, and one which I've talked about before. There's a common metaphor to do with knowing is seeing. Part of an overall knowing is sensing. Schema. Knowing is seeing. Requires a space to see through, and the higher up you are in that space, the more you can see, which is why crows nest at the top of ships, not at the bottom. And it's why Newton said, if I can see further than other men, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants. These are all uses of the entailment from knowing is seeing. So that's an example of how the organisation of knowledge builds on the organisation of sensing. So here is the central image to do with knowledge. You are standing in the centre of a brightly lit space with a dome of sky above you. When you look out, you can see the horizon. Some of your view is blocked by trees and other objects. You can hear things in the space, calling of birds, traffic rumbling in the distance. There may be smells in this space, and as you move through the space, some of those smells fade or grow stronger. Some objects in this space are within range of your sense of touch, and you have them under manual control. That's the central image for knowledge.